After you have selected study buildings, you are ready to start doing carcass surveys and estimating the percent vegetation using digital maps and a geographic information system. But you're also ready to start measuring window area. So this video contains a list of the equipment and supplies that you'll need to measure windows. The video is structured around the protocol for measuring windows and includes pictures and video of examples from the study buildings that we've looked at Augustana College. You might want to view this video along with a hard copy of an outline of the protocol that is found on the EREN Bird-window Collisions Google Sites page that we created. Equipment and supplies are pretty simple. Obviously a tape measure to measure windows, a data sheet to record those measurements, and it will be important to bring a camera with you because sometimes you'll want to take pictures of windows that you can upload into ImageJ and measure the window area on the computer later on. Measure all exposed sheet glass, which includes clear windows and treated windows, such as those that are reflective or tinted, for all sides of each of your study buildings. We want an overall estimate of window area for each building, but we also want to retain window measurements for each side of the building, and that's because we may want to look at mortality as it relates to those different sides later on. There are features and circumstances in which we don't want to measure some windows of a study building. For example, do not measure windows above inaccessible areas that prevent carcass searches. This is another one of our large study buildings. And while it's difficult to see this wall of the building through the trees here, there are a lot of windows on this side of the building, and we are able to survey the ground below all of those windows. And we're able to survey the ground below windows on the other side of the building here, as well as the other two sides of the building, but we are not able to survey below the windows on the dome of this building, and so we're not going to include window estimates for the dome. If we were to do that, this would bias high the window area for this building and reduce the accuracy of our assessing the correlation between window area and carcasses. Second exception is do not measure windows behind screening material. On this house here you can see there is screening material over these windows, screening material over the windows of the door, and we wouldn't want to include in our window area estimates for this building measurements for those windows behind the screening material. We are assuming that birds either won't hit the screening material, or if they do, they won't suffer from the collision. And so, just like with the last example, including measurements for these windows would bias high the overall estimate of window area for this building and reduce the accuracy of our ability to assess correlation between windows and bird collisions. Do not measure the area of mullions present where multiple windows are framed in the same space. You can see the presence of large mullions in these windows down here, and also in these windows up here, and also in these windows up here. So as you measure windows, you just want to exclude these mullions from your window measurements. Measure windows with a taped rule or from photographs in ImageJ. For some situations, just using a tape measure and just measuring the window in the field is easiest. For example, if you look at these windows right here, they're all the same size. So if you measure this window, you just multiply that measurement by all the windows of the same size. So it makes it pretty quick doing that. And again, look at these windows. Again, not including mullions in the window measurement, but just measuring one pane right here. And you multiply it by all the panes of glass in this part of the wall. Same with these up here, just measuring this window pane right here basically covers it for all of them, because you're just going to use that measurement and multiply by all the windows of the same size. So using a tape measure in these situations may actually be easier than doing it on the computer. However, there will be situations when you cannot access windows for whatever reason, and in which case you'll want to take a photograph like this one, upload it into ImageJ, and use the software and computer to estimate window area. So for example, in these windows right here, you may not have access to these windows, in which case you'll want to use the computer to measure those. You also want to use the computer to measure odd-shaped windows, such as this one in this house right here. It's not rectangular, it's sort of part rectangular and then half of a circle. Of course, you could use geometry to figure out and estimate the size of that window, but with the computer it's very easy just to draw an edge around that window and quickly get an estimate of area. You can download the program at this website for free. And when taking photographs, you want to be as perpendicular to the wall as possible. You want to record the image file name on a datasheet so you can refer back to that later. And you want to include a standard in the picture, such as a yardstick. And lastly, report all window measurements to us in squared meters. I hope this video was helpful in explaining the protocol for measuring windows. The great part about this aspect of the project is that once you finish measuring window area, you're basically done, because window area won't change during the project. An accessory video was produced that explains how to use ImageJ in the computer to measure window area, and this video is found on the EREN Bird-window Collisions Google Sites page that we created. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments, and best of luck on this part of the project.